Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cashflow Digital. We're back again for the second in the sequence of personalisation, cloaking, call it what you will. We're going to be extracting as much as we can out of Brad and Mike today on that side of things. And we were due to have Chris Palmer. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what happened to Chris, but apologies for anyone that wanted to see Chris. Before we start off, our sponsor, odys.global, if you are looking for done-for-you affiliate websites, age domains, and that type of thing. But yeah, back onto the podcast, we've got the usual suspects, Brad and Mike, and they are going to be giving us a bit more, well, I'm not sure.
Mike might not. Who knows?
It might all be left to Brad. I'm sure Mike will be back, and we'll be talking about cloaking and stuff. But yeah, if you just let us know who is here, where in the world you are, and
also if there's any questions from anything we covered last week, for everyone that got to watch it, go ahead and post those in the comments, and we'll try and get those get to as many of those as we can.
Stuff on the computer right now. I had it crash, so drop your questions in. We want to talk about some stuff today. We're going to go over clusters. So if you have questions on clusters, I want them to come through.
Black hat clusters.
Because you can walk away from today ranking faster very easily. We're also going to talk about revenue generation, okay? We're going to go over a campaign that Brad and I conducted and how the increase on the traffic was almost instant and the revenue was freaking insane. So give me 1 second, Brad. If you want to go into, I wanted to talk about either the candles or the way we did the hair. If you want to go into the hair supplement campaign and the content and how we modified that content and how quickly it started to increase. So I'm going to pull this up while that's happening, and then I'll jump back in.
Yeah, I mean, with the hair supplement contract, we were up against people like do you remember who did Donald Trump use and it messed up his hair? Propecia. That was the primary competitor. And we're going up against people like that, working with a company backed by Unilever. And basically all we had to do for the first, 2-3 months was go into the content, spruce it up with cognitive SEO or whatever, lexiconical stuffer type software that you want to use. We would go in there, do that, and then at the same time we would set up our internal linking. So go through and set up our internal clusters, which I think is crucial, and then we can link to all of those, and it brings everything else up. And that's where you see the huge boosts in the very short amount of time. Is that what you wanted, Mike?
Yeah, it's important to talk about the lexicon, okay? So Brad mentioned cognitive SEO, and there's a reason we do cognitive SEO versus another keyword tool. And that is because of the focus terms in there. They are not keywords. Like when I have a call with a client in a large top CPC market for Brad and I today, and they have to have this call. It's a damn good SEO, but when I say keywords and he looks at the report, okay, he's like, well, what do you mean keywords? Like, this is not like what you're looking at where, is it cracking? Yeah, I'm fixing it right now. So it basically, these are terms that build the lexicon of the page, and instead of doing like LSI and various things, this might be if you're talking about say candles, okay, it might be something like this scent for men might be the phrase that you need to shove into your page to go ahead and unlock a keyword set of like 4 or 500 terms, okay, that you could be eligible for. So when you start to target keywords, as you think about it, you can expand to a certain amount. But then when you start to shove in these little fragments, these little pieces of text that are just on page anywhere, kind of like if you take keyword stuffing and you shove a bunch of keywords, now you're eligible to rank for those because they're on page or in your anchors. Well, this takes that shit that's in there and enhances it by an exponential amount, okay? So you've now added in a phrase of like, find candles with the best scent for men. And now because you have candles, men, and scent on the page in different areas, bang, you're unlocking a whole new keyword set that if you didn't have scent for men, that you would never rank for, okay? So keep that in mind while I'm pulling this up.
You rank for scent of a man, don't you, Craig?
I do.
I'll take that insult. That was quite a good one. Yeah, I rank for a lot of things.
Yeah, I love local right now. Who in here is doing local? Post up in the comments while Mike's bringing that up. Who's spamming local, black hat local type stuff? I was asked not to cover my black hat local stuff, but
nope. Apologies, guys. Mike is not working, or something similar. So, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there with Mike. 1 second, he says. But yeah, let us know who's spamming the shit out of the local stuff in the chat, and yeah, it'd be interesting.
That is the only way to do PPL. If you can get a way to do GMB spam, that's what I would do. Yeah, we got it. LinkedIn user.
Mike is back. We've got 2 mics.
I'm going to share the screen. It's up now. I don't need the audio over here. I just need to be able to share the screen. So keep going with the content stuff, right? Because that's what we're going to stay on. So if you want to take them into the process that we use for Nutrapol, expand on that daily process, that how we went in and how we trained them and how we.
Yeah, we basically they had 1 or 2 writers on staff, so we went in there, and we told them to go through every single existing article on the site, and they were doing probably 10, 15, 20 a month on average. And so how many mics are we going to have on this freaking show?
Bro.
Yeah, good. That sounded better. But yeah, so we went in and we had them, we would give them the keyword sets because we didn't really want to give them cognitive and train them on cognitive. So we would have to go in and it's a triplet of mics. Yeah. We would have them go in and we would give them the cognitive keyword sets, and maybe instead of like 4 tips for healthier hair, we would expand that to 7. That's how they would use the lexiconical stuffing and get those in there. So we would just expand it, not mess with any of the hardcore aspects of the on page. Like we never really changed the URL, even though we could have, but we'd have to deal with 301s and all that stuff. So we did that in the internal linking, and it was pretty much it, you know. Mike does a lot of DDoS type stuff, you know. Don't ask.
DDoS stuff, no. Okay, so there's a patent that came out that's on optimizing web domains. Okay, I'm going to pull up this article from Search Engine Land for you. This is an extremely important article that every freaking SEO should read. They should understand to a T, because it is SEO in a nutshell. You ever pay for a basic SEO course or whatever? You don't need to. This is your basic SEO course. If you understand this article, then you can do fucking SEO. Okay, and that's the thing, is that it's not mystical. It's understanding the way that backlinks and content come together. So we're going to call backlinks edges, okay? The edges that connect the pages on the web build the relevancy and allow Google to estimate the user experience. So a backlink is just an estimation tool for Google to determine, okay, this page has this much traffic. This backlink is here. There's 10 backlinks on the page. So we can take a percentage of the traffic, say 10% clicks through, and now there's 10 backlinks. Well, now we know that this new page that's linked to from the other page is going to get 1% of that traffic, and we can estimate a ranking and give it a rank score based on that. And in general, that is content and clusters and backlink. That's what they do. That's why you rank. And this is how you just blow up search campaigns, okay? So we've been promising to talk about cloaking, and that is something that we are going to do today. And we're going to discuss how cloaking can enhance the clusters that you have built for your campaigns and make you more money, okay? So let me find, Brad, I'm going to pull this up. if you want to go through just the first paragraph with them, if I can get it up. I'm sorry, fellas out there. It seems like this computer decided to crash right when we're doing this. I'll let it load. Okay, so basically there is the bot, the crawler. There's a 3-bot mechanism, okay? And when Google visits your page, they're doing 3 things with what the bot is. The first one is they are crawling the page, and that is the crawler. And this actually starts to determine the relevance of your page. And once they start to determine the relevance of your page, they can then clusterize your pages, which means assign you to a cluster on the web. And I'm going to ask someone in the chat, I'm going to take an answer before I do anything and go further. What is a cluster, how you understand it? And we don't need to bring up your name, or we can actually bring up the name. What is a cluster? And we're going to go on once we see what you say a cluster is.
Yep, let us know what a cluster is, guys, in your opinion.
I'm looking.
Come on, guys, dive in quick.
Come on. I got good shit for you today, but I'm going to take input from you, or we're going to sit here and you'll always watch me. I'll pick something up and start fucking painting.
There we go.
A group of similar items is a damn good way to say it. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
So if I have a, let's say we talk about entities. So when we build our campaigns, we build an entity, we establish the social media, we build the content, and that now is like a social media page about my business on addiction that is linking to my page on my website that's about addiction. Now, those 2 pages are now part of a cluster that is about addiction, a topical cluster. But my social media page that is about addiction is also part of a cluster of social web pages. So it's a cluster with whatever it leads to. Now, if I'm linked over to a business that is in addiction as well, well, now we are a social addiction cluster because my profile links to there. So this is how Google starts to put together all the connect everything. They don't just assign topical relevance, right? They also assign, okay, this is part of social, this is part of that, because this all comes together to make trust, right? Trust is made when you start to assign all of this together, and they can start saying, again, we go back to the backlink situation where I can estimate.
Also, I want to, while you're talking, Mike, I want everyone to think from a black hat perspective. How can you do this maliciously? How can you use it unethically to maybe tank someone's rankings? So listen and think about it, and maybe I can talk Mike into revealing that in a second. But yeah, think about it while he's talking.
Think about it from a black hat way, right? Now, if we know that we're building these clusters and we're associating ourselves with these businesses, right? So if we're associating ourselves with businesses that have GMB listings, I'm just going to go for it again. We're going to talk about link trading, right? If we are starting to talk to, we have our addiction business and we're starting to talk to other businesses about swapping promotion, right? They're not caring about links. We're talking to them about, yeah, we'll promote your business when it comes to this or that. And you promote us for that, put up the link in the logo, blah, blah, blah. And then if we want to get unethical and go black hat with it, well, we just remove our side of linking out completely in Google's eyes so that now we're getting the one-way link and our trust and our authority is building like crazy right there. I will get to where I'm going in a second, Brad. I changed something. So basically what that means is when we control the website that we're promoting, we actually can start to craft the experience for both the search engines and the users. And the line is where you draw it. Where you draw the line is what actually determines what is ethical and what is not, and also what is white hat, what is black hat. Because the same technology can be used, like we discussed, to create more revenue. Okay, and the nice thing is it's not hard. I was in a big discussion over on Reddit. There was a dude selling another product about, here, I'm going to show you, I'm going to do all this magical shit, and I'm going to show you that I can dynamically redirect websites and yada, 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 and all this. And again, that's a little fragment of what you can do with cloaking tech or personalization tech, right? So with cloaking and personalization tech, you actually can...
yeah, and that's actually
of the person's experience. And that's what has been able to allow us to take content from a conversion rate that is great and enhance it like freaking crazy. So right now we're working with a major auto brand to enhance their conversion essentially. And the skills that we have from our network building and cluster building equate directly to working with major companies to enhance the content experience for their users. So once you have your SEO skills down and you're able to, if I can get this freaking page up, I'm just going to explain what it is because I'm not going to freaking go to the images. You guys have to trust me that I have fucking images for you to back it up. Okay. So the campaign went like this. It's a 4-day campaign. It's in a market that we're not going to talk about. We built the clusters just like we were just talking about the edges. And the campaign went from 100 a day to 5,500 users a day. The revenue on the campaign over a month at the beginning of this year, from February to March, went from 675,000 a week to 850,000 a week within 3 to 4 weeks. And the reason why it was able to move so fast was a complete understanding of the way a cluster works. Okay, and we've discussed it today. We're going over it today. You're going to have to ask questions to pull it out of me because there's a lot of information I can drop. I need, maybe Brad will ask some fucking questions and I'll drop the info. But once you do the cluster aspect of it correctly and you start throwing in the personalization aspect, well, now you're ranking faster than anyone else thinks is possible. We're talking 4 days, under a week, fucking 50% more traffic a day, 100%. I think the most traffic increase we've seen in a month, Brad, was it like 1,000 something or what, dude?
It was close to that. I think it was in the hundreds, but it was huge. The revenue increase that we saw was 1,100%. I think is where you're getting 1,000 something. But month one,
that might be it.
Yeah, we've seen 200 or 300% increase in traffic on a site that was already kicking ass. So
yeah, no, that's very true. So who out there right now is using clusters as a way to sell tech? I'll show your campaigns, because this is actually a very big portion of how we've always sold our services as a firm or as an agency. And if you aren't doing it, it's been touched on in past shows, but I wanted to make sure everyone today walked away with something that they could actually implement in their business right now. Okay, if you have the pricing for content creation and the pricing for your backlink building, then you have something that you can sell as a package, right? And Brad, I know you know what we're going towards. And so when we talk about selling SEO, it's a little mystical, right? I mean, Brad, what would you think as a business owner if I came to you and said, I'm going to do all this crazy stuff, I'm not going to tell you what it is, and I'm going to help you get more money, I'm going to rank you on, or I'm just going to rank you on Google. Or if I came to you and said, well, I'm going to sell you a package, a flat fee unit that's going to increase your revenue. Like, what, give me your fucking opinion on the difference in those campaigns.
Yeah, the first one I would consider shady, and I wouldn't trust you at all. The second one I can understand because I'm used to buying products. Business owners are used to buying products. So that's what I would probably do. And you're able to show me the ROI, the rankings increase, the traffic increase, all the stuff that I want to see. So
how do we do that, though, in the campaign? How have we sold that, dude? Like, what does that freaking entail, right? That entails making sure that they know that they're getting a certain thing every month with the deliverables. And then
it gives them the deliverables is the important part.
And we have the steady cost. Yeah. In the audience, does everyone have steady costs on their content and on their backlink costs? I want to know that. I'm really interested in that, actually.
Yeah, guys, let us know in the comments the answer to these questions.
Chuck had an off topic, but it is on topic because I brought up PPL earlier. But because GMBs are what drives the calls, basically. If I had a choice between a GMB and an organic ranking, I'm going to take GMB every single time. That's why, because I'm wanting to sell the calls, and the maps are way up there. So simple answer, but yeah, that's why.
Cool.
All right. Where were you at, Brad? I got what I have up. So I want you to see what actually can fucking happen when you synergize ranking with personalization. Now, the revenue increase that you see here would not have happened the same way if we just let traffic flow in and didn't optimize their funnel, right? So we had to not only break fast, move quickly, but then we had to optimize what happened with that traffic. And that's the key to the revenue increase. The traffic increase you have to do with your skill set, right? Whether that's SEO, whether that's paid,
could be
it doesn't
paid.
matter where the traffic comes from. Email, you can put anything in that traffic generation that you want. However, once you get it there, what you do with that traffic can be greatly enhanced. And I tell people when we go to sell that I at least increase your conversion with what you have right now by 20 to 50% without touching new traffic. And that is the case. Most people completely are leaving money on the table. And I'm wondering if anyone in the audience has an idea of what we're doing to actually increase that kind of traffic.
Yeah, that was
the conversion with that kind of traffic.
So that was going to be my question, Mike.
Assume right now that is super targeted organic traffic. Okay, it's not junk traffic. It's targeted. It's pulling in users that are looking for this. Now, what is something that we need to determine about those users to be able to actually increase the revenue and increase the conversion rate, like we're talking about by 2 to 3 figures on shit? What do you think that is? And I am going to be like, we're on a live NFG show now, and I'm going to sit here and stare at your ass until someone answers again.
Someone please answer.
Humor them, guys.
You're going to learn today.
Repeat the question again, Mike, in case someone.
Yeah.
What's that? So basically, what we're going to do is someone answer me, what do we need to do to identify these users to make more conversion with these users? What can help us convert more once we get targeted traffic in?
Someone's asking you, are they warm and cold?
That's a good question. Absolutely, dude. Are they warm? Did you bring that up, Craig?
Yeah.
Okay. Bingo. We need to determine where the hell they are in their buyer process, where they are in their buying funnel, okay? Are they coming in from a keyword that is pulling it in on info intent? Are they coming in from a keyword that is going to be a buying intent, right? Can we convert them on the first visit? Can we convert them on the second visit? Do we need to put them into our email and throw them down the funnel, right? So that is where the tech behind cloaking and conversion comes in when it comes to making more money with the traffic you already have, okay? That is how you can take any page you have right now, throw some shit on it, and make more money with what you have going on right this second, okay? So that's a big thing. It's huge. We're going to leave that aside for a second. We're going to go back to cluster and traffic generation. And basically, how do we get that traffic in quickly? How do we pull everyone in? And let's keep pulling up questions. Do we get this information from a cookie or a pixel? That is one way we can pull information. So when we throw a pixel on there and someone visits our website, we can start to look at, okay, what's going on with that person? What have they been doing? So yes, there's a ton of theory behind it when it comes to cookies and pixels. There's also a ton of theory behind it when it comes to other parts of their browsing history, right? So once you start to be able to use your dark arts or your light arts to jump into this shit and read people's information, start reading their fucking minds, then you can start giving them shit that you need to give them to enhance your conversion, okay? So excellent fucking question. Yes, that is where we want to take it. That is one part of cloaking. That is a personalization side of cloaking. Now, a lot of the shit that gets really fun for Brad and I is network building. And I wanted Brad to go over, he found a really interesting network that we always look at. And I don't want to bring it up in front of everybody today. But Brad, can you explain what that network was doing in their linking that doesn't work anymore, but literally still works today after years of watching them?
Yeah, basically it was an insurance network. So I think it was auto insurance. And I stumbled upon them. I found an EMD. And then I happened to look at the footer. And in the footer, they had linked out to a whole bunch of other EMDs. So essentially that piqued my interest. So I started digging into it. Brought them up in Ahrefs. They had about, 80, 90 different external IPs pointing to them. So 80 or 90 different sites. And at that point, I started looking at all the other sites, and it's the exact same site with the geo switched out, maybe a few surrounding areas around it, but say take the top, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 100 locations in the US, and they built out a single site for each location, all on separate IPs. You can do that with AWS, EC2, whatever you want to do it with, or just like a microsite hosting or something like that. So they did that, and then they randomly interconnected all of them, built out a full entity around them. So they had a GMB associated with it, a Yelp associated with it, like YouTube. They did all the entity stacking, all the day one stuff on every single site, and then interconnected them. And then I didn't really see any other links aside from that. So I assume just the entity from all of those pushed the entire network. And then something else I found interesting was, if say they get a new client and he's based in Albuquerque, New Mexico, they would go to the Albuquerque insurance page, because it's thematically relevant through geotagging, but it's geographically relevant. So they would link from the footer of that Albuquerque page over to their Albuquerque client. And then of course you've got, not instant rankings, but you've got a nice push from that. So it's just network building. It's what we did in mortgage. That's what we based essentially everything on. And we did, how much data did we use in, for S3?
We were close to no shit. We were getting close to a TB a day. When it came down to that campaign, we were getting close to a TB of transfer daily, by building our clusters and our site networks out based on cluster technology and cluster tech and patents for what Google does. And
so we went out and we took that and we essentially 10x'd it or 100x'd it. I don't know how many keywords we did. So we had the cities that we were going after, primarily Texas. So we would take let's just say it was only Texas, but take every city in Texas, and then we would do keyword plus city state. So we would do home loans for, FHA loan plus Addison, Texas, and then FHA loan plus Houston, Texas, then FHA loan plus, every other city in Plano, whatever. We would do that, and then we would meticulously go through each one and randomly interconnect it. So I had a spreadsheet that would shit out the anchor text for it, just the raw anchor text. I would throw it the footer and then do that. I think it was, what was it in each keyword network? Was it around 80, Mike? 50, 80, something like that. I can't remember.
I think it was around 80, dude.
Yeah. So it just went to World Population View, grabbed every city in Texas and used that. So we did that, interconnected it, of course, had the entity set up around it, and then did that. And then were we cloaking on? Yeah, we were cloaking on a portion of the network. We were. Right? Yeah.
And so here, the thing is that campaign, a tetrabyte of traffic a day, wasn't as many sites as you would think. I mean, it was more than a lot of people. It was 3,500 plus sites, 3,500 plus.
Yeah, we had our own software solutions.
But once we turned on everything and we had the full campaign running, I mean, Brad and I had our biggest fucking win this year when it comes to the largest single phone call we ever had for GMB, and we had a $36 million fucking phone call in that.
Yeah, we had GMBs attached to most, if not all, of those sites too. Yeah, and let everyone say, why is that important above just getting calls from the GMBs? Why is it important to have a GMB on every single site? Post up in the.
So I'm going to answer for you. Yeah. We're building the trust again. We're talking about clusters. So not only that GMB has that edge connecting to that website, okay? Now that a GMB is part of this damn cluster, and the trust is inserted into the fucking cluster that you're building, right? So now we talk about link trading and cloaking out our side. Well, this is all the same thing. Like, now you're getting a damn link from Google to your landing page, okay? You got a link from the best damn place you could get by being a business. So people think about GMB as, oh, it's a call. And that's the most important to Brad and I. The call, the money is the most important. However, our networks do so damn well because we tie the trust of Google into our shit. So when you're building these cloaking networks, you really have to understand tier 1, tier 2, where do I make these lines? How do I segment this out? How do I put together this network so that I can leverage all the trust and transparency of being a business, even though I'm not, I'm just a lead gen dude, but then take advantage of all the shit that crosses the TOS line up until the point of being like right before it crosses the line into illegal, right? So you have to segment your networks like this when you get into network building. And I will say network building is the best way to make money, but we're not talking about like mass traffic spam and shit like that. That's one tactic that has worked. It does work in some ways.
Yeah, it does work. It's more that tactic, in my opinion, is more churn and burn at this point. If you've got a way to keep them in index and keep going, then more power to you. Keep building them. But in my opinion, mass traffic is more of, especially to the scale that we were doing, is more of a churn and burn at this point.
And when you understand all of this, and really we're going to come back to clusters, because the way the cluster works in SEO, the way Google has it laid out in the patent that we're going to go over at some point, is that it's laid out in a way where you can literally find link building diagrams in Google patents, right? A lot of the diagrams you see out there that people have drawn for people, when there was one that was really funny, like back in the day when we were doing DAS. Yeah, that traffic right there is all organic SEO, and it's organic cluster. It's cluster maturation, basically.
Organic GMBs, all the above. Yeah.
It's all cluster maturation, and what cluster maturation is just like when you read the patents, it'll talk about immature, it'll talk about mature clusters, okay? And so when you hear clusters from HubSpot, clusters from Ryan Stewart, this is not a term that they made up. There's literally in the patent, it talks about a clusterizer, and the clusterizer back to the bot. And understanding the bot is everything. That ranks, if you understand the bot and what link building is, SEO is simple. Again, the bot is a 3-mechanism thing. It's the crawler, clusterizer, and then I forget the term they use, but it's the ranking. It's actually the rate score, and it gets into all these other patterns for rate score modifiers. But the crawler and the clusterizer are important today because backlinks are the crawler. We need the bot to come to our shit. We need them to move around the clusters, so we need backlinks, internal and external. The clusterizer finalizes topic relevancy, so we need to make sure that those are relevant to some extent. Now, that can be extended into irrelevance at certain levels of your network, but when you understand and you see those graphs, like I was saying, a lot of the link building graphs you see out there, they come from patents, even if people don't understand it. They've just discovered on the same graph when they're designing their tiered linking or whatever. Now, there was a thing back in the day that people talked about called domain authority stacking. It's just a method of reversing your metrics, but metrics.
The actual term was just made up on the fly. Yeah,
you know, like the third party metrics mean shit. Don't buy shit based on metrics ever. It doesn't mean shit. You need to buy them based on the metrics that work, and the metrics that work are a lot of core web vital metrics, okay? And that's how you have to think. Now, when Google announced, core web metrics and blah, 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 they've been using that shit for a long time. They might use it a little bit more. It's like passages. They've been using that shit for a long time. Don't get worked up on all the fucking hype in the news about SEO. Just know that you only really have to come away from today like understanding that a cluster is not a made-up marketing term. It is a term in the bot mechanisms that they use to put pages together and then rank it, okay? So,
Mike,
I guess, Craig, do you have any questions on what I'm saying for the cluster right there, brother?
Yeah, someone's asking to tie it back into what was discussed last week, the personalization, the showing the content that you want them to see versus what Google sees.
Because you need traffic and you need to understand what a cluster is to build the networks. And the networks is where you're doing your cloaking. We just talked about how you're going to be transparent on level 1. So level 1 is on the line of I'm following terms of service, okay? And once you get below that transparent layer, like RYS and all the other things that leverage the Google platforms to build more relevancy, we do it through GMBs. So we use GMBs to build more trust and relevancy on all levels because we can. Now, on your first level, when you have a real business that is yours or a client, you have the GMV type, you're building the cluster up top here, but you're also extending down into a second level that is coming in with relevance. Now, in this level, you can start using the other side of cloaking, which is on the other side of the terms of service and outside of it, because you can't get in trouble for receiving traffic from someone, right? Receiving traffic from someone is not a way to get banned. So if you're not breaking terms of service on your top level, if you're doing only things for the user to make the user convert better, then you are cloaking within terms of service. It's just like delivering a mobile version of your website, okay? You are cloaking within terms of service. When you step over the terms of service line into the second layer, into your network, and you're starting to break those rules, these are the sites that are at risk, not the one that's receiving the benefit of the traffic generation, okay? So this is why you have to understand the cluster and how it works, and understanding that allows you, one, to enhance your traffic because you can use it in your link building and your content creation and architecture on page. And then you can take the same thing and you take basically the same freaking map you use to build content and anchors and then remove it into a second tier level. And now you have a list of websites to build more relevance for your top tier, okay? Does that make sense to everybody out there?
Yeah.
If it doesn't, ask questions on it before we go on.
Also, on the back to the mortgage example, as we get down in our network, the mass amount of sites that we were doing, most of them, we've got a big long article that Google wants to see. But if an actual user went to it, they would see a zip submit. Hey, do you need an instant quote for your new home? And you've got a kitchen in the background, and it looks like dog shit, but it converts like crazy. So that's where the cloaking and stuff comes into play.
Absolutely. And this is why most of everything out there is focusing on like one layer of what you need to be doing when you're cloaking, okay? And the kind of discussion I got in with someone was like, well, yeah, you're doing this redirection point and this traffic movement point. Now that's one way to cloak. That's one way to move traffic. There's better ways to do that without being at risk. Because I could tell you there's certain variables that you can find that Google uses to store information about key points that most of you out there won't. I'm not going to say what it is because that's like knowledge for me to make sure I can make money. But they store shit that they can see everything you're doing. And unless you know what they're looking at, you can't protect against it. So just because you're redirecting and you're not sending it over there, if you are doing it wrong, there is a chance they're going to discover what you're doing. And I can speak from major experience from sitting in groups that were building revenue off of Google platforms to the tune of $8 million fucking dollars a month. And that's how we got fucking hit, was because we missed certain things that they were tracking, and they found it and, oh, there it is. Now it makes sense, but now the revenue's gone, right? So people sell dynamic IP delivery, dynamic this and that. We're going to dynamically look for the bots before they get there. Well, that's a good way to say that we know how to do this, but we don't have history doing it because we didn't build a database. So we can't give you protection for the last 15 years, but we can start you now, and then you have 15 years of data against you, basically, right? So making sure you do it right is extremely important. And understanding where the danger points are is extremely important so that you can protect against those if you start to utilize this. Now, to be very clear, on the first tier, you don't have to worry about this shit. On the first tier, you are allowed to look at someone and make their conversion and their experience better. Google, in their terms of service, says make them happy on your website, essentially. They want you to give them a good experience. They want users, they say quality, quality, quality. Now, I've always said, what's quality? Can I have, is my website that looks like a third grader's art collage and everyone submits their stuff because they want to get off my ugly website and it converts extremely well because it's ugly? Is that a good quality site, or is the pretty page that doesn't convert anything and everyone just bounces off? Which one is quality, right? The one that converts is quality to me, right? So now if you can do both and you can make it look pretty for someone else and make it convert really well for the user, this is what makes Google happy. So you have it's a skill set that I think people should develop, whether they're going to go white hat or black hat with it, I don't recommend anyone go black hat, because black hat is like the line of legal and illegal. So we'll call it gray hat. We'll call it gray hat. If you want to break terms of service, that's all good for you. Like understanding this, you will be able to do that. And it's something
Hey,
that
Mike, can we call
whether or not you really go hard on the great portion of your network, your freaking white hat SEO can benefit immensely from this. Your PPC campaigns can benefit immensely. You can sell new products to your users, your clients, whatever, and just make additional money. Like literally go in, have a new product, send it out. We just did this with another company, did a test, gave them a way to do this, and they literally sent it out to 300 other clients, and there was like a 20% conversion rate on this new product right away from the first freaking mailing, and that is a freaking large increase in revenue based on what they sold that on, okay? So understanding personalization is freaking awesome because, like I said, we were talking to a gentleman last week, Brad and I, who was having issues with a client taking away certain revenues. And like they had the ability already in place to do certain things with landing pages that the client doesn't understand. So instead of going in at a negative aspect and saying, look, you need to freaking give me back this money, now they can just go and knock up that whatever they lost, knock it up $1,000 and say, we got this new product. It's going to increase your revenue by X amount. Here you go. And now they're making, now I can make more with the same freaking client than I was before I lost the money because I'm adding more value. So the skill set is immensely beneficial to everybody, no matter how you generate traffic. The traffic in the screenshot was generated directly with cluster maturation, which again, today, takeaway, you need to look at clusters as a web page and a website can be a part of dozens and dozens of clusters, okay? If you have a topic on your page or you have a page in social media, these are all a different classification. So understanding how Google classifies your pages and how they classify the web is key to understanding how to generate super fast traffic with maturation and on-page and backlink optimization, okay? When it comes to backlinks, I want you to start thinking of them as content pieces. They are just another page in your cluster. They're no different than your pages on your website that link together. They're exactly the same. Google might assign different weight to them, but they are the same freaking thing. And take that away today, because once you understand that a backlink page, and that's why a lot of people call them backlink pages, is the same as a content page, then your SEO starts to get a hell of a lot better. And instead of someone just telling you that relevance is important, you now understand why relevance is freaking important, because it's going to build the trust, allow the UX estimations from Google, and rank your freaking site. So are there any questions on the backlink before we talk about the content?
Any last questions, guys, on that? Before
we're getting close to the end, so you better ask those questions now. There's a lot of information to come out. You definitely want to pay attention to the content aspect of these links connecting together. There is no easier way to rank. You can repeatedly pull traffic, rank within 4 or 5 days. We can go out and talk to people. People say a month, 2 months. It is super possible to say we can do this in a week or two if you understand what you're doing.
Itamar's asking the question about GMBs. Do you make sure they all have a physical address?
I mean, they all have a physical address.
Ours do, yes.
Attached
they
to
absolutely
the GMB, yeah. Have either of us ever been to the addresses? Probably not. But don't go to the addresses. So, but yeah, they all have they have to. We don't. It's harder to get service area GMBs. So yeah, they all have an address attached to it.
Cool.
You want the address there because once you unlock the address, you can unlock other verification methods that don't have to be chased like everyone does in the GMB market. We've been using the same verification methods for a decade plus. It always works. It always will work. There might be downtime. There might not be downtime. But the holes are one thing. But once you understand the system in there for the GMB system, you can always rely on certain methods to get you listings, okay? So I would recommend digging through every page Google has published ever about how to freaking verify a listing and look. And if you do, you can find some gold. So instead of going to other people who want to sell you methods, go to Google again and read the terms of service, read the freaking help pages they put out for people that are legitimate businesses, and think with your gray, your lead generation cap, because there's shit working right now that works gangbusters that no one else wants to do. And if you find it, it's money in the bank.
Perfect. Other questions, guys? We've got 13 minutes. Or do you want to just dive into the content side now?
Yeah, I say to get through it, probably need to hop on it. Don't you, Mike?
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
Go ahead. What?
What'd you say? I can't hear you, bro.
You said you wanted to cover content, right?
Yeah, content. We've been covering it. The main point is the lexicon. If you want to pull up COG. I can't do it right now. Pull up COG, dude. Yeah, and share your screen. We'll do it. I want to show them what focus terms are. I think if they take away the aspect of clusters and focus terms, and they'll be able to freaking enhance their campaigns right away.
Craig, do you have a term and a URL to go along with it?
You know what? Just run. Don't worry about the content scoring. Just go to the keyword assistant and throw in like an addiction term, dude.
Okay.
And there's a button down there to share your screen too. So what we're going to show you are focus terms in cognitive SEO. Cognitive SEO, if you don't know what it is a third-party tool that they offer questions like everyone else. They offer a lot of stuff that other tools offer, but they offer something called focus keywords. And the focus keywords are what really unlock the ranking ability of your pages, okay? They're the ones I talked about where if you're doing candles and you talk about seg for men, now you've unlocked all these combinations of the term men and candles, men and scents for candles and shit like this. So your lexicon is stuffed, right? This is why I call it lexiconical stuffing. You're not just going and stuffing keywords in your page, right? You're going in and you're crafting your content. Now go to focus terms in the tabs over there.
Yep.
So let me read them off to me real quick.
Drug addiction, success rate, smart recovery, drinking and drug rehab program, treatment professionals. You want me to group them? I like to group them.
Yeah, you can group them if you want, dude. And that's the thing. It's like you can group these and you can take the cluster aspect, and now on your content, you have your header terms, right?
Here's your clusters.
And in there, inside of the shingles in your content, which is basically what passages is, and that's why this works so much better after passages released, is now you've got these terms where it said something like recovery in there now, and it said drug addiction. So now you've got, when you have these focus terms and you're going after alcohol as a main term or alcohol rehab, but now you've got alcohol addiction, alcohol recovery, smart alcohol recovery. All these terms start to build out the way you craft your content. And that's why when people say, oh, cognitive doesn't work, oh, this and that doesn't work, people aren't using the tool right. This is a tool for your writers to craft content that fucking kicks ass, people. I'm not kidding.
This would be either a full article or a section of our article. Pay for treatment. How do I pay for treatment? Or will my insurance pay for treatment? Stuff like that. And those are the type of users that you want. The ones that are actually looking to actually, how do I pay for this treatment? Will insurance cover the treatment? Then you answer their questions, and then you've got them pixeled. And hopefully they call. You've got an exit pop. You can send them to a special landing page where the whole thing is just a click to call button, unbeknownst to them until they click on the page.
And what's cool is that method for the whole page being click to call. When you personalize that content, that's only click to call for the user when it comes from wherever you want them to come from, right? So now, like, you don't have to worry about someone coming in and saying, "Why is this whole freaking page click to call?" You don't have to worry about
you competitors coming in
and starting to report your shit because your competitors aren't seeing what you're doing, right? And you have to really look at it from a protection and an offense type of standpoint. There's ways to protect your pages with personalization and cloaking. There's ways to generate more traffic, which is offensive, right? So when you start to protect your IP, my backlink profiles, right? My backlink profiles are completely freaking skewed. I can make you see whatever I want in those freaking third-party tools, and that's why you don't rely on third-party tools for this shit. You look at real metrics, and when you start to skip the third-party tools, understand the way this works from like a default standpoint, then you can go, okay, I don't care if this isn't the real league profile. I don't need to look at another league profile. I can just build my own because I understand my clusters, and I can throw this in and I can hide it from my competitors so they cannot analyze what you're doing, once you're better than your competitor. And it's a huge advantage, man. The content, when we get back to these terms, what are some of the other terms on there, dude?
Let me bring it back up. Treatment provider, faith-based treatment, treatment medications. These are all, of course,
right
pulling
treatment,
from because I put
treatment. I'm laughing at Brent. Treatment provider is another great example of a focus term, right?
Yeah.
Because you're looking at alcohol rehab, right? And you're going to want to, like, keyword stuffing. It's like, well, now I need to get alcohol treatment provider and throw it in there, right? I'm keyword stuffing. I look like shit. It sucks. Now you can do that if you want to personalize. Just grab a keyword list. There's ways to just stuff that in there that doesn't look bad to other people. But if you want to craft this on your tier that's above like terms of service, you can sprinkle this throughout your content. And I'm telling you, many times, dozens and dozens of times, I have seen content for 500 words go from ranking for 10 to 12 keywords to 500 to 1,000 plus keywords just by stuffing the lexicon like that. So I would start looking for those terms in your campaigns. Okay, if you take that away today, I guarantee you the pages you have right now, you make small edits to your pages, it will go. So go to Cognitive SEO, go to the keyword assistant, and you do it under keyword assistant. It's under like once you do the search
content
there,
optimization and keyword tool.
Keyword focus keywords, questions, all that kind of stuff. Hit the focus keywords, export that out for every page that you do. Like get your focus terms. Do it for every single page you ever build. Get those focus terms. Give that to your writers. Throw it in there, and I guarantee you, your content will make you more money. There's no question. You will make more money. And we're gonna go on right now, Brad. You want to pull up that landing page or what, dude? And show them what's up, or?
Yeah, Craig, do you want to share that link? We got something for everyone. Hang on, let me grab it.
We did decide for Black Friday, we want to make it Green Tuesday. Like, I want you to take away the content shit today. I really want you to start stuffing the lexicon like we just talked about. It will pull more traffic and it will make you more money. And you do not have to spend anything. Like, get a buddy. Like, just find some terms like that and stuff it in your content using any tool you want. Take an alternate keyword, throw it in there that's related, and pull those terms out. Break it out the pieces and throw it in there. And your content that you have right now, you will make more money. That's our gift to you for Green Tuesday, right? So you've got Green Tuesday. We're going to help you make more money today like that. For Black Friday, we are going to open up I dropped over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, I dropped a bunch of video on how exactly we're personalizing our content, how we're doing our networks and shit. So we are going to not only show you how to do it, but we also have, we'll show you how to write this shit yourself, okay? We will show you how to go out and hire a developer and not spend a ton of money and write your own shit. However, we also are going to give everyone that doesn't program like me a way to do all this shit, like beyond what we've talked about in public. Do anything you fucking want with anything you want to do. And we're going to throw you in there. And we're not doing this for a lot of fucking money. It's literally, we have an opportunity that just came up. And this is one of the reasons where people that do this and get good at it, we have an opportunity to make money with you, with what you're building. So we're not only going to, for Green Tuesday, like let you, like help you make more on what you have. If you come in and do this shit with us and start personalizing with us, there's 1,500 agencies for major brands that are in paid and organic that we've worked with that need a solution. And so like all the traffic, and we're going to build these secondary revenue streams through personalization with what you're doing. And maybe you can let us use your traffic. And you know, some of our kids, some of our students, we're sending them checks for $20,000 plus a month because they're running campaigns with us. We don't teach just to fucking make money. We teach to build partnerships. We teach to make more money with people that we're doing this with, okay? So we're going to go through how to freaking personalize on the top tier where it's above terms of service. We're going to go into how to personalize on the bottom tier where it comes to building networks and generating literally the campaign we talked about. We generated 1.2 billion with that network of 3,500 sites in financing. So it will affect conversion, dude. It absolutely will. We're going to leave this open through Black Friday and the weekend. And then that's going to be that, because we need to get people in there. We need to make sure that people are in there, they get through the training and they get on with us, and we start making people move forward, because we've got timelines we want to hit in our campaigns. So, Brad, do you have anything else to say when it comes to like what's up on that page or anything they need to know?
No, I mean, at the very least, we put it at a price that, and Craig actually been our arm on that one, because it was going to be at least 5 to 6 times more when we released it, and then go up after that. But Craig's like, "Nah, dude, under 100." I'm like, "Are you sure?" Yeah. All right, we'll do it for Craig, because he's done a lot for us. But so we did that. We put the price point at 97. At the very least, everyone should hop in there and kind of see what's going on the darker side. Even if you don't plan on doing it, you do need to be prepared, and you do need to know about some of these tactics, just in case someone that's scrupulous comes along and they launch an attack. You need to know what to do from that point. So even the white hat people need to know about the stuff, just like the black hat people. Just like the black hat people know the white hat fundamentals, it should go the opposite way as well. I mean, if you can increase traffic and rankings, and more importantly, revenue on virtually any site that you've got out there, then
the cool thing is too. I've been getting a lot of questions about site generation software, and the stuff we've been using, the code base we use, and we base our code off of a lot of the time, has like updated quality algorithms and quality control algorithms, and that shit comes with all the tech too. So literally, site generation is just an offset. Like if you want to build sites, if you want to do like local sites, if you want to do automatic TBNs or whatever, that's just a side benefit of how this stuff works. Like that's not the stuff, that's cool. You'll make money with that. We'll show you how to build those networks and auto-generate sites. But the money really comes down into like optimizing what you do once people get on the site. So we're going to go over how to do the clusters like we showed in that image. We're going to go over how to personalize on tier 1 and tier 2. We're going to go over how to generate networks and cloak those networks to both mosaic and redirection based and everything. So if you come in, you better keep in mind, ask me what mosaic cloaking is, because no software out there does it that I've seen in the public yet.
Yeah. And
it's the only way to do it safely. So we're going to show you how to safely cloak and not just redirect like 307 and shit. We'll show you how to protect rankings on both tiers, because if you redirect incorrectly, you will drop ranking and you will screw your network up. So we're going to go through all of that. The training's all in there to get started, and then we're going to do a couple webinars to go take it further, and like literally like the software self-hosted on your own shit and on your own hosts and stuff. You don't need to use our software. Like I said, we'll help you freaking develop your own, or you can use any other tool out there if that's all you need that you already have. But if you want some solution, we don't like to release training without a solution. So there is a solution for you if you want to freaking do that. So we made lots of money, 7 figures more, lots of money with this shit. And there's so much money on the net. Like I don't see the point in protecting it anymore. Honestly, it needs to become a more forefront type of thing in the SEO industry.
It needs to become standardized.
It benefits small business, large business, and people. Go ahead, Brad.
I was just saying it needs to become standardized, basically, just like all the other tactics. This is kind of, we're bringing the dark arts to the light with this one. Mike, I've never seen him so excited to put any type of material together. I mean, he was calling me all kinds of manic, like for the past like month or two. I'm like, Jesus, dude, calm down. He's like, no, I got to put this in there and this in there. I was like, remember, we're planning on putting this out for 97. He's like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to put this in there. I'm going to put that in there. So I was like, all right, go for it. It's no, sweat off my balls if we do it. But, it's cool how much he's put into it. So, and the tech behind it, the tech that allows us to do what we do is the coolest part about it. Just learning what is possible is just insane. So
yeah, the sky is actually the limit. Like once you have once you understand the way web server tech works, any visitor to a page you control becomes information for you, and it allows you to actually do whatever you want with a lot of, like, we're just talking about landing pages for now, so we'll continue that. It allows you to craft that landing page however you want to for that person. So I'm looking forward to actually seeing who comes in. I'm looking forward to build some people. The people that are doing it now, they're making money with us for like years now that we've taught this in the past. So I'm looking forward to seeing, in a couple of years who's killing it with it, because it'll be fun.
And Andy has a good point. Yeah, there's no upsells or anything. It's not like we're getting you in. It's not this isn't a tripwire offer. This is the offer. If you want to get in before we
there's no fucking OTO.
hop in. Yeah, there's no OTOs or anything like that. So I just, we don't, Mike and I don't do it to make a lion's share of our money selling courses and stuff. We do it to help the community, and we have fun. And most importantly, I feel like it keeps us sharp. It keeps us moving forward. So that's why we put out stuff like this. That's why we started, the first NFG event, back, what was that, 3-4 years ago now, Mike?
Yeah, it was like 4 years ago. I mean, I've seen so many people go from a couple thousand a month on a day job on the side to making, 100,000 a month. It's freaking nuts, like, to watch that. And I really enjoy it. And the nice thing is, like you said, is I'm looking forward to the input. We always get input from people who come in, right? There's always input of like, hey, this would make this better. Now, they're like, so community is really important to us. And I haven't talked to Brad about it, but I think I did actually. I'm creating a Slack group, and we will have a Skype group, for ideas to bounce off, because our campaigns become better when you guys have your input in there too. So it is a little selfish in a way, because we get the benefit of having you around us, but I think that's how we all grow anyway. So.
Yep, exactly. So
for sure. There's one last thing here before we wrap up. If someone wants to get you guys direct, where is the best place to get you?
admin@planettree.com.
Yeah, or Brad at nfgseo.com. It's fine.
Yeah, there you go. Brad at nfgseo.com.
Yeah.
But I will have the link below. So for anyone watching this after today or just now, the link to this course will be below, and it will be my Black Friday page. And I'm pretty sure.
And for anyone that wants it now, nfgp.digital/Craig is where to get it. Yeah.
And if you have questions about the content stuff today, if it's specifically about like the focus keywords, you can hit me up on Skype at Michael_Pierce1, the number 1. And if it's about that, I will answer it if I see it.
Yeah, good luck, everyone. Yeah, I can't get him to see my shit. So
you're pinned, bro. You're pinned.
I am pinned. I feel lucky sometimes.
Finally, we get something.
Thank you, Glenn. I think Glenn's the first one. I'll remember that, bro. At least he's the first one who said it, dude. So since he said it, I'm gonna remember that.
The first one, yeah.
I will put those emails below. Well, in fact, I won't, because people will be able to scrape that shit and bombard them. Can you just repeat the emails once again?
Yeah, Brad at nfgseo.com. Badmab86 on Skype. So
Michael_Pierce1 on Skype, and you can go. I think it's MikeSPierce@gmail.com. Good. Put it in the subject line, Cashflow Digital, and I'll see it.
And is it self-paced and self-trained? Yes.
It's not dripped out. Yeah.
No drip, and take your time. Like the basic information and what you need to know to set tech up, to understand everything is in there, and it's going to continue to grow a bit too. But also, we're going to be doing a couple webinars to do Q&A, because there will be Q&A. So if you have questions,
it's going to be important.
Don't worry. Like, you will have questions. It's new. This is like 15 years of building knowledge for me. It's going to be brand freaking new to you. So don't get overwhelmed with anything. Just make sure you bring your questions, and we'll take them at the time we need to do to make sure everyone's knocking it out the way they need to knock it out.
Yeah.
Why don't we, on next week's Cashflow Digital, just do a Q&A session for anyone who's bought it over Black Friday, who's got initial questions?
That's a really good idea.
That's a great idea.
If it's popular, we can extend it for another week or whatever, or, debate.
And honestly, you guys go to this link. I mean, if it ever is open, after this week, after Black Friday, I don't think the pricing is going to stay the same. Like, this isn't Craig's special type thing. So,
Craig is
I mean,
the only
realistically,
reason
like,
that we did
remember,
it
like,
at
save this
97.
and make sure if someone asks you about it, give them the one that sent them to Craig, because it's going to save them money.
Yeah. No, guys, I have genuinely bent these guys' ears to do it for that price. So take full advantage. I'm making sure that every offer on my Black Friday page is below $100. I just think people will dive in and grab
Yeah, there's
them.
questions in there about if it's self-paced again and if we're accessible to a reasonable manner. We're accessible all the time. I mean, we've had a community of people that we've been learning with and teaching and learning from for what, 4 years now, Brad? 5 years?
Yeah. Andy's in there, I think.
So yeah, we
Andy, Nick, a bunch of people. Yeah, Nick's making a ton of money from a few of the offers that we sent his way. So yeah, we're around.
So I know a lot of people say it. We really do enjoy seeing growth for people, and we enjoy helping, and it helps us stay crispy. So we are more accessible than other people. We're never going to be the type of person that says, come talk to us, and then send someone else to talk to you and shit. So
I'll send Mike, and Mike will send me, and then it's a circle jerk. So yeah.
Exactly. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
But a pleasure to have you on again, guys, and thank fuck we got a deal out of you eventually. But yeah, we will do the question and answers next week, guys.
Yeah, it's perfect.
You've got, there's a new playlist going into that training too right now. So if you have other questions, look for that when it comes in there. If you have questions, like I said today, I'll be monitoring communication today. I can throw up. I mean, honestly, once you're in there, hit me up at that email, and I'll answer questions as you go. Like, we're around. So, I'm going to let Brad have Brad's going to take the week and go see family because it's a holiday.
Yeah, as you can tell, I'm already traveling. So yeah. Does everyone like the Gone with the Wind poster that my mom graciously picked out for her living room? And the kids screaming in the background and the dog barking, but it's all good. That's that I am lifestyle, right? Hobby, business, whatever.
Yeah.
That wealthy doesn't mean classy, bro.
I'm definitely not that. So.
Anyway, guys, enjoy.
Once again, the email is Mike, Mike, S as in Sierra, P as in Paul, E-A, R as in Romeo, S as in Sierra, E as in Echo, @gmail.com. That's the last one they asked again. So, all right.
Cheers, guys. Thank you, everyone, for attending. And thanks, guys, for the deal. Take it easy.